All right, so Claude Code is installed. Now it's time to build something real. For this course, so we are going to build this Developer Learning Hub website. The features are going to be, we will have something like courses, lessons, categories, and from architecture point of view, pretty simple. We are going to have the UI web application. We will have a database, and web application is going to retrieve, we store the information within the database, and user is going to interact with the web application. So let's jump into the cloud right away. And we are going to start with our first prompt, which we can use. Create a modern developer learning hub features this and this. Before implementing anything, explain your architecture and technology choices. So let's copy this one and come into Claude, and I'm putting here and hit enter. So one thing, I would recommend, instead of immediately asking Claude to start coding, I want to see the plan first. And this is a habit I recommend for all of you getting into early. Before building something, ask Claude how it wants to approach the problem. So architecture and technology choices, React plus Void plus Tailwind CSS. This is fully client side, SPA, no backend or looks. So I'm good with that. I just want to, change the tech stack just for fun. Okay. Now, one thing I want to add, right now, as a beginner, right, if you're watching this video, don't make a lot of fuss in terms of, the tech stack, because that is not what our objective is. Our objective is mainly to understand the workflow, how Cloud works. Now, this is where the Cloud Code feels very different from a normal chatbot. Notice what is happening. It's creating files, it's creating folders, installing dependencies, updating code, running commands, and checking results as well. So we are going to talk about how all of this works later, how Claude does all these things internally. For now, I simply want you to observe the workflow, how Claude works. Okay, so looks like our initial implementation is ready. Just a few minutes ago, this folder was completely empty. We had nothing here. Now we have the first version of our developer learning hub application. We have courses, we have the home page looking pretty nice. Browse all courses, you can go here, my progress, everything is looking now. Before we start adding features, I want to understand what Claude actually created. This is another habit that will help you a lot. Don't just ask Claude to generate the code, ask Claude to explain code. So let's use this prompt. One of my favorite uses of Claude is learning, not just generating. And let's see what it says. If you take a look here, right? On the top, it's explaining the description. It is explaining we have backend, which is the brain, C Sharp, ESP, .NET Core, front end, Angular, TypeScript, and then some details about it, details about the folders, right? So anybody, any new developer, if want to understand this project, this is more than enough. So now we have much better understanding of the project. We know where the main application lives, we know what backend does, what front end does, right? And we also know how Claude organized everything. So now, as a next step, let's improve this application. A learning platform usually has a, the continue learning section, something that helps users jump back into the course they were already taking it, right? So let's ask something. What is best way to add a continue learning section to the home page? I am not immediately asking Claude to build it. First, I want to see the approach. Let's see what Claude recommends. My recommendation, front end only first. You already have both API calls in API service, so you can build the whole section in this without touching the back end. So approach makes sense. Now let's build it. Now again, Claude is making the changes. So see here, let me check the models and course structure first. Okay, all right. So looks like continue is done. Let's take a look. I'm refreshing. Oh, pretty awesome. So now application is starting to feel much more realistic. So let's take a look one more time. We have featured courses, all these browse by categories. Then we have continue learning, Angular complete guide 40%, C Sharp beginners 25%. I mean, pretty nice. I mean, if you go in our dashboard, yeah, you can see two courses started. You are there 40%, 25%, and you can resume here. So at this point, I want you to notice something. The value of Claude Code is not just writing code, the value comes from the workflow. We gave Claude a goal, we asked for a plan, we reviewed the plan, we approved the implementation, we ran the application, we verified the result, and then we improved it. So there is much better way to work with Claude than simply throwing a huge prompt at it and hoping everything works. And honestly, this is much closer to how I use Claude on real projects on day-to-day basis. So at this point, we have a working developer learning hub. And more importantly, we have started learning how to collaborate with the Claude. But this raises an interesting question. What exactly is Claude doing behind the scene? How is it reading the files? How it is updating the files? How it is making changes to the projects? How it is running your application? How it is starting, the servers? And how does it feel now that it is much different from a normal chatbot? So let's talk about that next.